Support, client support, which is very important for us. But I'm also in charge in coordination of processes and communication between the client support and the technology departments, because it's very important. Today we'll be speaking about these four main topics. I'll try to explain you how the liquidity works, how the execution of STP brokerage works, and then I'll try to explain you why there's slippage and how it's actually being created and why it's there. I'll also show you something from the actual broker's back office. I'll show you how the MT4 server looks like, at least how the application looks like, because it's of course virtual, and how the broker can actually set up the conditions for the traders. I'll try to be brief because I don't have much time. 2 days ago I actually spoke about traveling and photographing in Iceland, and I spoke for 2.5 hours, so today I'll try to be more smart and more brief. So, how the liquidity works. It's very important to know the difference between STP brokers and market makers. I hope you all at least heard of it, that there is some difference. And it's very important to know that because that actually creates a slippage. There is usually no slippage in or at market maker brokerages, but there usually is slippage at STP brokers, and this is exactly why. I can actually show you how the way or how the path of the actual trade looks like and where the trade goes. So if you imagine this as the MT4 platform, this is the first step. You usually place the trades through the platform if you don't have an EA, which makes it for you. So we click to open an order, to open the trade at home, for example. So your computer is located in Czech Republic or in Slovakia or wherever you are. Then this order must go to the broker, to MT4 server. Usually brokers have their servers remoted. For example, we have servers in London, but it's variable and different. Every broker has it differently. But in our case, it's London. So in this case, the order or the path begins in Czech Republic or in Slovakia and then goes to London. And this is the step, or this is the part where the difference takes place. In terms of market makers, usually the order stops here. The order gets filled and gets back to the trader as an open trade. In case of STP brokerage, the trade must go further because, of course, the broker is only something like an intermediary, and the trade goes to actual markets. We know that Forex is an OTC market, so there's no such something like an exchange or a centralized place where all the trades would execute. So the broker, the STP broker, usually has a couple of liquidity providers. That's the third step, as you can see. And it can be, again, it can be variable. So one of the options is that it's a bank. The other option is that the broker has a aggregator, so-called. And this is represented in the picture. This is actually our situation. We have three main liquidity providers. One of them is bank. The other one is aggregator, who creates something like a hub for other banks. And so this is, for example, better execution, better market depth. And the third liquidity provider we use is allowing us to connect directly to, for example, NISA or to Nasdaq stock markets, stock exchanges. We, for example, have three different options because of many reasons. But one of them is to be flexible for our clients. That's one of our main priorities, to provide flexibility. And the usual example of this is that, for example, when we are connecting the client's account directly to the bank, as in the first case, then the client has better spreads because we are directly agreed with the bank. We have specific conditions, specific agreements. On the other hand, the execution doesn't need to be as good because the bank doesn't need to have really good technology. So in case the client requires very quick execution, we have another partner, the aggregator, who is aggregating other banks, the top tier banks, of course, like UBS, Nomura, and so on. We'll have a look at that at the other slide. And in that case, the execution is much better, but of course the aggregator is asking for some kind of commission. So the trading on that liquidity provider is more expensive. So then the client has to actually choose if he wants to, for example, a little bit worse execution, but better spreads, or vice versa. Now we have the basis to understand how the slippage actually is produced or is created. And these are the three main reasons. One of them is so-called physics, that's how I call it myself. That's the actual length of the path between the trader's platform and the market. And it can be either a brokerage server, it can be a market maker, it can be the bank's back office, or so on. And that's the actual link between Czech Republic and, for example, London, and the bank which is in Germany or which is in Japan, wherever. Because of course we know the signal is going through internet and it takes time until it reaches its destination. The other reason, so what is slippage? I didn't say that. Slippage is basically something or a situation when you get worse price or different price than you asked for. That's what happens with STP brokers. And for example, some of our clients are excited, or they are actually questioning us why they got better, worse or better prices than they asked for, than they saw at the moment of placing the trade at their platform. And that's the reason, that's the slippage, because there was a time delay between the actual placing of the trade and between the time at which the trade reached the market. This is how the market depth looks. This is one of the other reasons of slippage. Because at the banks, you have pending orders. The different banks, this is the case of the aggregator. You can see different banks, for example, JP Morgan, BNP, and so on and so on. And these are their pending orders. And in case there is a big order from a brokerage house that goes to the market, that goes to this aggregator, it tries to find the counterparty. If you buy it, you must find somebody who sells. And there is a fight for the price. And the price doesn't always need to be exactly the same as you asked for. That's what the slippage is. So this is the other reason of that. Oh, I don't have a picture for that. But the third reason is something like a traffic jam. And that's a situation when or at which there is a lot of orders at the same time, in the same milliseconds, coming to the market. So they are fighting for the price, and also the market or the technology of the prime brokers or of the banks has limited a number of connections of slots or something like that. And if there is too many orders coming in, some of them have to wait until the earlier ones are executed. So that's also another reason of slippage. So I hope it was understandable at least a bit. If you want more details about this topic, you can of course find us at our booth. This is just the example of a trading account that represents the situation I told you earlier about. And it's the account that is traded by some of the traders that have visited us here, like Mr. Borisenko from Ukraine. And I just want to show it to you because of his trading strategy. He's trading very short trades in terms of minutes or in terms of seconds. As you can see here, the trade was just less than a minute, and he needs very good execution. So, as I said, we try to be flexible, and this specific strategy wasn't really working very well at the first kind of liquidity at the bank directly. But we cross-connected him to the other solution, and there it works, as you can see. Or at least it works much better. So now, a little insight to the brokerage back office. This is an application that is called MT Administrator, or MetaTrader Administrator. And this is basically the alpha and the omega of what the broker is doing with MetaTrader. This is the application where the brokerage can set up basically everything they want or they need, and even more than that. There are still some functions that we don't even use. We don't even maybe know what they do, because MetaQuotes create very sophisticated and sometimes complicated technology. One of the examples of what you can actually set up at the MetaTrader server is, for example, the limit and stop level and the freeze level. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but these are some limitations, for example, at where, or the limitations that it's basically, you can set up a number of points which the traders are limited to place stop losses or take profits from the actual price. And we have it at 0, some brokers have it at 5 points, some brokers maybe at 10. It actually happened to us that some clients asked us what is the level we have it set it up. We set it 0, and the client said, okay, I had an account with the other brokerage, and they had it at 5, and they told me that it's not possible to change it. So why you do have it at 0? And we told him, well, we set it up 0 because we don't see a reason why it should not be 0, because it's much better for the clients, of course. So yeah, it's possible. This is another example. For example, enabling trading by expert advisors, enabling trailing stops. Again, some brokers can tell you that it's not possible to use trailing stop losses, or it's not possible to use expert advisors at their MetaTrader. And it's just simply a few clicks in their back office system. And of course, it doesn't need to mean that they don't know how to do it. It can mean that they have several reasons why they don't want to allow you to trade with expert advisors. It's their choice. But I just wanted to show that it's always possible to set it up, and it's only a broker's decision if he will or will not allow it to you. This picture we already saw. This is another thing. In this application, you can also, as a broker, you can also set up various trading conditions. And by trading conditions, I mean spreads or commissions on the account. You can see here a list of different trading instruments, and the broker can create several different groups of these instruments. He usually does it with suffixes, as you can see here. And he can set up different trading conditions for each kind of suffix. So the broker can allow his clients to trade, for example, Euro USD without any suffix, and there will be spread 1.6. Or he can provide a special type of account that will be called, or special type of instruments that will be called Euro USD _ ECN. And these kind of settings will be, for example, 0.3 pip spread and $5 commission. Just an example. But this is how the broker can play with the actual trading conditions. However,